So we're going to look at some developmental movement, some restorative work. And this work is, we're going to do some rolling today. And this type of work is an excellent way to help your body remember some early motor learning. You did these movements as a baby, as you were learning to move around your world. And it's really good work for getting some pliability worked into your structure. And I would suggest doing this work, daily if possible, and especially before or even better after more aggressive work like natural movement training or even functional training. So let's just roll through it here. Lie in a face-up position like 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞 is here. And just kind of tune into your breath. And I'm going to invite you to breathe through your nose, if that's possible for you in this exercise, pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth as you do that. And let's say that we're going to do some diaphragmatic breathing during this exercise. So in our world, when we teach diaphragmatic breathing, we try to say expand the lower ribs, let the belly rise toward the ceiling or into the floor, depending on what position you're in. Really draw the breath into the lower part of the lungs. Notice what is weighted on the floor. So you might feel your heels on the floor. You might feel your hips on the floor, rib cage, shoulders, and head. So you've got these major weights in these major spaces. Between your heels and your calves, there's a space where your ankles are, and that's not touching the floor. Above your calves, your knees, the backs of your knees are off the floor. And your low back might be a little off the floor. Then, of course, there's a space where your neck is not touching the floor, too. So you could do this along with 𝐂𝐨 as I talk you through it, or you could watch the entire video and do it on your own. But the next thing we'll do is raise the right arm up above your head. And now just notice that when you do that, you've got this long shelf that's formed on the right side of your body. And you've used your right leg and your right arm to form this shelf. And just get a little reachy through the hand and the toes, right hand and right toes. And notice the length in your body on the right side. And you may reach and relax. Reach and relax. Don't forget to tune into your breath. And we're not going to get specific about when to breathe. And then from here, drag your left heel on the ground, bringing your knee up and planting your left foot on the ground. And from there, just notice that you could push your left foot into the ground and lift the left side of your pelvis into the air. And then let it just relax down to the ground. And repeat that several times, pushing the left foot in, lifting the left side of your pelvis up and back down. So you're using your left foot to lift one of those major weights we talked about. Shifting your body weight on the floor. And notice how your hips are coming up. And your rib cage might be coming up a little, but it's not coming up a lot. So there's this like differentiation between the pelvis moving and the ribs moving. And then just to enhance that idea of differentiation, let's pull that up into the ribs a little bit. So we lift the pelvis and then the ribs and the shoulders almost come up, and then the shoulders go down and the ribs and then the pelvis. And do that a few times. So hips, ribs, shoulders almost, and then the shoulder comes down, rib cage comes down, and then we've got the pelvis hitting the floor. Okay, so now let's pretend you are a baby and you're interested in your surroundings, and maybe mom walks into the room and you start to look around with your head, tracing her steps, right? She's got something you want, or you're just interested in her, and you're moving your head around. You might even really get into pretty good extension there with your head, looking up over your eyebrows. And then you are already at the point where you can reach. So let's take your left arm up and reach for mom. So you're reaching for mom, and she's coming over here on your right side, and you reach a little bit. And then maybe she goes back over to your left side, and you're reaching. And then she's going to walk all the way around to your right side, and she has something you want. So you are going to really reach with that left hand, pushing the heel into the ground, then the hips come up, rib cage comes up, and then look what happens all the way over onto your belly with a flop. Now you've made it to your belly. So from here, cock that left knee up and out to the side, place your hands under your head, and just rest. Snuggle into the ground. So that's some good rolling work. Lots of variations available for this movement. You could roll back over going through the same process, but we'll encourage you to play around with that on this side and the other side, so you'll just reverse everything in the video and enjoy the results. So that's developmental and restorative work using rolling.